thought I'll show this. This is, any of you can put this chart. So someone asked me once, they said, and I was telling Vincent this morning, he said, how do you manage? And I always get this question. And I will tell you, I'm no different from any of you, and all of you are no different from someone else. Because all of us we can all chart this. It just happens to be, mine at this point in time. But I will say to you that all of us can chart this, men or women. But you must chart it. My point to you is you must chart it. Meaning that all of us have multiple roles. And when you recognize that you have multiple roles, that's when you can do all those things I talked about earlier. Because it then brings you to this next thing, which is about you have to make a choice. You have to prioritize. You have to know the opportunities that come along. And then you have to time those correctly. I wish, and I think a lot of people in my life, although I think my employer won't appreciate that, I wish I could say 2020, 2020 for all the things I do, or whichever proportion you want to. But frankly, normally, each one, depending on which point of time, either in the day, the month, or the year, takes precedence. But the trick is, when you recognize what I shared with you in the earlier chart, and then you recognize that you have to make choices, you have to prioritize, you actually give your best to each of these moments. I tell my staff this all the time, and I'm a very big stickler for this. It's about being present. Because once you make a choice, yes, I'm a mom. And when I'm a mom, I'm really a mom. But honestly, some people will tell me, and I used to feel extremely guilty that I was a terrible mom because of the very little time I spend with the people who are important to me, including my kids. But let me tell you this, I do not take out my phone, I don't allow them to take out their phones either, and I'm really talking to them. When I go into meetings, people think I'm the lowest tech, in a tech company, I'm the lowest tech person. Why? I do not bring in my notebook, my phone is always in my handbag, and I never look at it. Because the problem is, salespeople like me were trained. The moment you get a trigger, you will respond to it. So I do not have that in front of me. I have a piece of paper, and I take notes. But I will be present in that meeting. Be on time, be present. And you'll be surprised how much you can get done. When I have dinner with the family, or when I go out with my husband on a date, we talk. That's it. It's us. So that's the important piece. When I give my staff the time, it's theirs. And my kids, I will tell you, many of you in this room, I can guarantee you, if you're mothers, or if you have you do, and I'm quite sure all of you do, you have people who are significant in your life, and you always feel guilty because you don't spend enough time with them. And I was struggling with that once. And I nearly gave up my career because of that. And the people who actually got me to stay on to do the things I wanted to do and still be able to enjoy the things outside of work were actually the people closest to me, my children, my husband, my mother-in-law. And what did they tell me? They said, you be you on your terms. I remembered my children asking me, why do you want to quit? Of course, people tell me they don't want you in the house so much. But they said, Mom, you enjoy what you're doing. Why do you have to feel bad about it? Jeremy, my middle child, one day I was tucking him in. And then I literally jumped. And I said, oh dear Jeremy, what am I doing? And he asked me, what's wrong with you, Mom? I said, I'm a terrible mom. He said, why? I said, you're so big. Which means I haven't tucked you in for a long time because he was taller than me by then. He was 14 at that point in time. It dawned on me, when was the last time I tucked him in? And you know what his answer to me was, which really touched my heart, and my kids do this all the time today, my husband does this, they tell me what matters. And Jeremy said this to me, Mom, let me tell you this, you don't have to tuck me in every night in order to be a good mom. I tell you, it touched my heart. Because I found out that the power of choice It's about knowing what's important to you, which is the people around you. Second thing is what's important to them. And that has actually been my guiding light in terms of my prioritizations, my decision to take the opportunities that I take it, and the timing by which I take those opportunities. So all important decisions, whether they're political, commercial, personal, my family, even my employers, let me take those choices on my own. But they tell me what's important to them, then I make that choice.